70 partout.
What's going on there, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's our weekly live stream where we talk about the news, current events, esoteric ideas, as well as our movie review. Tonight we'll be starting our, since it's March, beginning of the new month, so a new theme. And this month will be Fish Out of Water month, and we'll be starting it off with a review of Rush Hour, starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker from 1998, I believe.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah.
You know, the great action comedy classic.
Yes. Yeah, so all that, in the next couple of hours or so. With me, as ever, is the homeboy Rob.
What's going on, Andy?
A lot, but nothing crazy.
A lot, but nothing
lot,
crazy.
but
Well,
nothing
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, just gotta take what you can get, I guess. But
All right. Well, anything new with going on with you this week, or should we just? Because I don't really have a whole lot. I mean,
yeah,
I mainly worked all
Right.
week. I worked almost 7 days this past
Oh, wow.
week. So
That is
Yeah.
a lot. And it's not even the peak season.
No, just covering for some people who were on vacation. So
Yeah, I mean, as for me, I've been working, but working is starting to suck because at the shop, we're having our own little problems. We're having our own little slow season, and
oh
so
man,
sales have kind of are coming in, but not at the level that one would like to see.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is expected to pick up, but what is it?
But yeah, it's kind of right now tentative with like it's kind of we're in the spring and it's been rainy. Yeah, but we all know that it is going to get warmer and it's going to be better weather.
Yeah, just kind of have to kind of go through the suck right now. Yeah, just kind of have to go through the suck right now before it gets better.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys go through that pretty well. The only thing new other than work. The only thing new other than work on my part is we released our episode on Cinemigos on Highlander.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is a great movie.
I know. I'm in the camp of that movie's awesome.
Well, it is an awesome movie. I really enjoyed it, and
I think
I
they
haven't
flubbed
seen
the sequel, but
there's
two
sequels.
Yeah, but they course corrected with the third one.
Did they? Oh,
Yeah.
I hear that most people don't like the second one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I've heard literally nothing about the third one, and I also know that the TV show is pretty beloved.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of how I first got into Highlander, because the TV show, I mean, growing up, particularly in like junior high to like the better part of high school, my parents cut off like premium cable. All we had was like the basics.
Yeah.
So you have your local channels, your QVC, and then like TBS. That's all we got. So I didn't.
God, QVC.
Yeah, but so I didn't grow up.
Ooh.
I didn't grow up with watching a lot of MTV or. Although every chance I got, I would go to my friend's house so I could watch MTV and things like that. But at home, all my cable experience was what they were offering on TBS.
Is QVC still around? Like
Yeah,
I think they are.
yeah, it's still around.
Jesus
You
Christ.
know, there's
Who's buying from them? Old
old
people?
people. Who else would it be? This is
Does that mean is
QVC.
this one of those
QVC is the elderly form of Amazon.
do you think that when we get to like our 60s or 70s, are we gonna just start buying stuff from QVC just because we're old?
You know what? I don't think we will, but potentially your wife and if God willing, potentially my wife when she's in her 60s will, because every like when they do like the call-in stuff, it's always like women and they sound elderly. No, let me
Oh,
let me
this
let me
is
correct that. Elderly or middle-aged.
yeah.
It's like, oh,
Oh,
Tiffany,
bless your
oh, this
heart.
this product is so great. It's like it's been a lifesaver. I mean, I'm sorry for affecting a Midwestern to Southern accent, but it's
Well, I
kind of the
mean, it's yeah.
demographic. I'm sorry to say, it's kind of the demographic.
It was a former NASCAR sponsor, QVC.
There you go. But
But man, yeah, I'm just
our generation, I don't fully see it. Maybe a few pockets here and there. I mean, particularly, I think for nostalgia's sake, some people might like, especially more towards like women. But I think for men, I think especially of our generation, I think we'll still be buying stuff off of Amazon or what have you.
yeah. It's funny though, because I two companies that I didn't think still existed, but clearly they do, is QVC and Finger Hut, which are I don't know if you remember Finger Hut, which is more of like a catalog based.
Yeah,
It's essentially the catalog based
yeah,
QVC. Like I see packages from those guys all the fucking time. It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's because not everyone like for particular geographic locations. Not every place has an Amazon like warehouse or whatever, and you know.
Maybe that's what it is. Well, clearly, um, AOC's district doesn't have
Oh,
him.
for sure, yeah, for sure, for sure, that's the case. Um,
They're ordering off the
yeah,
QVC.
ordering off the QVC and the Finger Hut. But yeah, like but some brands, it does kind of make me sad that they're no longer around, like Sears. Um,
Yeah,
it's kind of sad.
Sears was around for like hundreds, like 100
At least
years.
150. And yeah, they were the original Amazon. It's there was all mail order stuff, and you
Yeah.
had the catalog, which kind of like served as the analog app. And it was like
Did you like? I love looking at some of those old Sears catalogs that they have, like from way back
yeah, like
when,
19th
where it's
century.
like you. Yeah, those are so awesome to just you could buy pretty much fucking
Yeah, I
anything.
mean, like, yeah, with like the even like yeah, you were even able to buy a house, a
Yeah,
prefab house, particularly with the western expansion of the country.
Amazon's doing that now
Oh yeah,
with that like with that little like shack that you can buy for like 10
yeah,
grand.
but yeah, Sears, they were selling houses to homesteaders and people. They were like, I think partially they were partially uh, the driving force of the western expansion, because people were heading out west, for gold or prospecting or other such opportunities. And Sears was right.
Take that with you on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, and Sears was right there. Getting them. Everything. You literally could have gotten everything from your house to your stove to your wash bucket.
Your gun.
Yeah, gun. Yeah, Sears Roebuck was the original Amazon.
Yeah, it's kind of just funny how that stuff like that works out, man. It's I find it's kind of sad that they're no longer around.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, all this spawned off of us talking about like, does QVC still around? I have to imagine that QVC has like an online component, not just the call-in
Right,
like
right,
the
right.
TV show.
No, yeah, they would have to at any chance of maintaining not even relevance, but just keeping their head above water, they would have to have opened up that avenue. Uh, so it wasn't just people so it isn't just call centers anymore taking people's credit card numbers and stuff like that. The old person to person. They would have to have a website.
Supplies are limited. Yeah.
I know supplies limit. Okay, all right, y'all. We only have like 30. We only have about 8 of these. Deep. Air fryers left. At 49.99. 5 payments of 49.99.
And if you call in right now, George Foreman's going to sign it with his own hands.
Yeah.
Oh man. I remember like at my grandmother's house, she didn't really have same thing that you had, didn't really have premium cable or anything like that. So like the one of the few cable channels she had was QVC, and it's like, well, let's see what the hell's going on here. And it's like, oh my god, it was like, I was like, why would anybody buy from this? I don't get it. But hey, whatever. You know what? Someone's making money somewhere, and people are happy. I guess people are happy buying from them. So you know what? Who am I to deny them their happiness?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. There's a lot of things though that I miss from like back in the day. Obviously there's a lot of the stores that you and I used to probably go shop at for things that are just non-existent anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for one, like Thrifty. I mean, I know they still exist as like Rite Aid, and I know like they did like the deal was like when Rite Aid bought them up, that they would have like the physical locations, but then they wouldn't have access to the Thrifty brand ice cream. So they're still selling.
Which was the best ice cream for oh my
I know
god,
it
it
was like
was so good.
it was like something like 30. It was like 35 cents a scoop. Back when we were young kids.
Yeah, but oh my god, that ice cream. Like uh, I think it was better than Baskin Robbins. It was better than like a lot of the other ice cream places. It just there was something about it.
You know what it was?
And it
It was
was
that cylindrical scoop that they had.
oh man, yes.
Because like all the other places, they had like the scoop that would make it that would round it out, but 50 they had like this basic. Yeah, it was like kind of like a cylinder
You would
thing.
get like the cylinder
Yeah.
scoops. Yeah, you're
They would
right.
like scrape the side and they collected all in like this the cylinders like cutoff thing. It was like slightly rounded. So and then when they ejected the ice cream, like these two plungers would like push it out, and then you'd have like these two little holes in the center of your ice cream. Um, and I don't know why, but it just
Yeah.
made it taste better.
Yeah. They had good play. That was a treat, man. Like you get that 35-cent scoop and
Yeah, and to round it back, I think on Amazon you can get that same type of scoop.
can
Yeah,
you? Oh man, I might have to get
yeah.
that. But there's a lot of stuff I miss. Maybe that's why like I enjoy watching like old movies because it's just more of a man, that was so cool. I wish we could still do that. Like it would not work in today's world, but it's like, man, that would be I kind of wish you could go back
Yeah, I mean the
and
quality of writing, the performances, there was just they still gave a damn, you know. I mean, not I don't fully not. I do appreciate the expediency of today's television landscape with like the 10 episode seasons. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a part of me misses that 24 episode season, over like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, there is something to that.
Because as efficient as the 10 episode season is, the 24 episodes allowed you to like fully develop characters and tell interesting side stories, um, that you just don't have that anymore in the now abbreviated streaming model season.
Yeah, I think uh, a few shows have done it well enough where you're only doing the like 13 episode, like they're doing like the 13 episodes things, like the a lot of the HBO shows.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like your Boardwalk Empire, your The Wire, The Sopranos. They would have these 13 episode seasons, and so you could get a fairly comprehensive breakdown of the characters that way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but then, like True Detective, this past season, I enjoyed it, but it was one way too short, and so
Is
a
that
lot
the is that the
of
Jodie
there's a
Jodie
lot of
Foster one?
yeah, it's not a bad one, but like the ending is terrible, and because there's a lot of loose ends, and I just feel that they could have done. I don't know if it was that the creator of this show was not necessarily intending to do a true detective show, because a lot of the uh kind of the going from the past to the present, and like it's this case that has gone on for a while, like the other three seasons
Right.
were like,
Uh,
but this one doesn't do that, and it's a lot shorter. It was only 6
mm.
episodes, which I think the other ones were like 10 to 13, I think. Maybe I could be wrong, but it didn't have the same True Detective feel. I was into the show up until the ending. The ending I just didn't care for.
Mm.
And no, it's not because oh, you don't like it because there was women as the main actors and it was a woman who wrote and directed it. It's like, no, I feel like there was a lot of competent stuff that was done. I felt they did a good job overall, and it's just the ending is bad, and I don't know whose fault that is. Maybe
Right.
it's the
It's
writing,
probably a
maybe
woman.
it's yeah, maybe it's the maybe it's the producers who were getting involved. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I was enjoying it up until like the very end.
Yeah. What is it? I heard there was like more of a it's like a supernatural element to the season, which
Yeah,
some people
there were
think that
there was
hindered the or took away from the idea of True Detective. But I mean, I'm gonna just admit right now, like I've never watched a single season of True Detective.
You've never
I,
seen any of them.
yeah, I mean, it kind of sparked my interest, like particularly like I think the first season with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
What?
But yeah, I've never seen True Detective.
Okay, we're gonna, you know what we're gonna have to do, Andy? We're gonna have to talk about True Detective. I think we're gonna, yeah, we're looking for like topics to talk about sometimes. I think we need to talk about True Detective.
See how you're getting crazy right now. That's how I feel about you not getting into Star Trek Deep Space Nine yet.
Well, okay, because I was trying to watch all. I know like each series is its own
Yeah,
thing, but I was gonna try to watch Star Trek at kind of progressively. I need to get back into. I need to finish the Next Generation, and then I was gonna probably jump into Deep Space Nine.
I see. I mean, you've at least gotten the. Are you at least in the season where the Borg attack the Federation?
Yes, yeah, that's where I'm at right
Okay,
now with Next Gen.
you can pretty much start Deep Space Nine from there. because
Oh, okay.
what is it? I mean, at the time, Commander Cisco, his backstory is tied to that attack.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, if you've seen what is it? I think the one where if you've seen where like the Federation's attacked at Battle Wolf 359 and Picard becomes a Borg, then you could start watching Deep Space Nine, and it wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, really? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
because that attack is part of the backstory for again. Then at the beginning of the story, then Commander Cisco's backstory.
Okay. All right. I also wanted to watch like because I wanted to finish like Next Generation. I also wanted to watch like the next gen movies that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You
but I don't
you
know
have
how
you
because
never seen Generations?
no.
Okay, that might be your least favorite of the next gen Star Trek movies.
Is that the one where like they meet up with the original crew?
It's the one. It's okay. If you at least know that much, it's not really spoiling anything. But it's when Picard and Kirk meet up.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's where the new generation meets up with the OG crew,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was the one I was looking forward to the most. You say it's like it's not good?
Huh? I didn't say that, but I'm just saying it might be your least favorite
Of the next gen
of the next
movies?
gen movies.
Oh, okay. Well, that if that's the case, well, because that's actually the one I was looking forward to watching the most.
Okay.
So and now I'm kind of curious if it's okay,
Yeah,
then maybe the other ones are
I'm
like pretty good.
purposely being vague so I don't ruin the movie for you. But I'm just giving you this one thing that it might be your least favorite. Of course, First Contact is excellent.
Ooh, I might have to. We might have to do like a Star Trek movie month or something.
Maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe in April because in the universe of Star Trek, uh, First Contact, when humans make first contact with aliens, specifically the Vulcans, is in April.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe we should. Yeah, let me write that down. I think that's a potential good idea.
See,
I
I know
like
we
it.
just come with we kind of we got see on this show
I,
we show you how the sausage is
yeah,
made.
it's funny because I actually do have like stuff planned, but then there's stuff like this that happens, and you know what? Like, oh, that's a better idea. Let's do that. Let's see. So yeah, so April, Star Trek month. There we go. Question mark. Cool. All right. Now I got it written down.
Oh yeah, in the Star Trek universe, it's April 5th.
So we got May the 4th and April the 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in the universe of Star Trek, it's April 5th, 2063 is when first contact is made.
Now, I know with the OG Star Trek films that were based off the the original crew, those all happened after the show. With the Next Generation movies, do they happen as the show is going on? Like, should I watch them
No, actually,
like during?
well, maybe with the exception of maybe Generations, all the after Generations, I think those movies happen after the show's ended.
So does Generations happen before the start of next gen?
No.
Technically,
No, it happens towards the tail end of Next Generation.
okay.
Yeah, I mean timeline wise, but yeah,
But are all the movies taking place after the show?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then like the subsequent next gen movies, they happen in the time frame of DS9.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if see now I gotta try to pull this up and see.
Yeah. Try not to do
But yeah,
too
no,
much
I'm
research on Generations.
no, I'm not. I wouldn't do that, but I would probably just like watch it and kind of just get into it and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oh, good. Okay, it's on all that stuff's on Paramount. Good. I can watch. I can kind of get caught up on Next Generation again, and before we do that in April. All right, there we go. That we came up with a new month
Yeah.
already, so that's yeah. I had a whole different idea for April, but I kind of like this idea better. Uh, but other than that, I don't have anything else to talk about. Should we dive? To catch up on, should we dive into our topics?
Yeah. Let's get into topics. Um, where do you want? Where do you want? Where do you feel like we should start?
Let's talk about the left consuming
Okay.
itself.
I thought you might want to talk about that. But yeah, it's happening. A lot of people didn't think. I mean, we've seen examples of this happening, but I think but it hasn't happened to one particular voice on the left, and that's AOC. Um, the video came out recently of her being I wouldn't say accosted, but but maybe heckled a little bit, or pestered. Let's say pestered. Pestered, I think, a better word. She's being pestered by her own constituents. Um, and you might say to yourselves, like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" There was that. There's a bunch of videos of AOC being heckled and whatever at at town hall meetings or whatever. It's like, and you're correct in saying that, but when people were getting upset with her about like the jobs and stuff, and then, like she was like doing like that cringe dancing at that
Oh
and
God!
affecting that Bronx acts there, like affecting that like
Oh, when she
Bronx.
was pretending she was Jenny from the block.
Yeah, she was affecting that Bronx Latina accent, like listen, like Linda, listen. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily.
Let me ask you
Yeah, let me
something.
ask you something. You don't know what you're talking about. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily call those people her constituents, because they were more or less working class normies, and they had
Yeah.
a legitimate gripe against her for torpedoing a deal that would have brought jobs to the community. Um, but no, this is like genuinely like she was being pestered by her constituents, and I mean when I say that, it's people.
People that she really represents,
Exactly.
like just like the insane leftist. Like where the district that she's in, she doesn't live there, and she doesn't give a shit about those
Right. I
people. But
mean,
the
but then
actual
you
people
like
that
yeah, but
like
then you could
kind of
say that most of the representatives don't live where they represent, because most of the time they're in D.C. But you're correct.
which
You're
is
correct.
bullshit.
Yeah, but you're correct in saying that. But yeah, these are her people.
Her the squad super fans that love her
Exactly.
were were heckling her.
And so like she was coming out of a movie theater with her like boyfriend, fiance, um,
Her gym.
and then she was swarmed. I mean, it wasn't like that many people, but she was swarmed by at least 3 to 4 people, demanding that she denounce, what is happening in, the Israel-Palestine thing as a genocide, and like, that the basically the Israelis are committing genocide against the Palestinians. And she tried to, initially she tried to play it off, or she tried to ignore them, but then like they kept saying like, oh, you haven't, said that, it was a genocide, and then she kind of said like he's like, yes, I did, when asked, I have said that it was a genocide, and to which, you know, one of her constituents said like, no, you're not, you're lying, you haven't said genocide, say the word genocide, and
You haven't stabbed a Jew yet. Come on.
yeah, but I mean, leftists, they don't require that level of demonstration. They just want your compliance. So like you have to say the word, much in the same way they want to control your language more.
Say the line,
Yeah,
Bart.
more than just like them like being like wanting to puppet you. They want you to conform to their language, much in the same way like with pronouns or with like gender or what have you. They wanted her to say that it was genocide, and they wanted to get it on the record, like on camera, that she said genocide. And she kept saying like, no, I already did say that it was genocide. Every time that I've been asked, I have said it was genocide. And then to which one of the pestering constituents was like saying, all right, then just say it right now. Say it right now. That it's a genocide. And then she just continued to just like walk away from them. And it's this
Oh,
is
horseface AOC.
and this is a little bit, this is Schadenfreude for sure, but it's so delicious because it's served up on a bed of her own words, because in a text from, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago, she put out a text saying how, like, you have to be this kind of protester. You have to you have to make them feel uncomfortable, because like the making them feel uncomfortable is the point of the protest. And so here's AOC just kind of trying to mind her own business, trying to live her life, right? And then here are her constituents who are taking her up on her words, saying like,
Oh no.
make the people uncomfortable. Don't give them an ounce of peace in their life. And 4 years ago, it was people in the Trump administration, or people who wore MAGA hats, or people who wouldn't conform to their.
Was it Maxine Waters and that crazy bitch that was talking about? It's like, you cost them at the gas station,
You
and like,
push back on them, like that kind of that type of rhetoric.
yeah, that's the same thing,
Yeah,
and
but then
that
yeah, but the Schadenfreude here is delicious because it's her own words. Like, because if it happened to Maxine Waters, that'd be funny too. But like this, here's AOC, like the representative of like the far left, like radical, like intersectional feminist.
she's the new wave. I mean, she was the one that was pushing against a lot of people in her own party, like that. Even like the established leftists are like, no, you're crazy. She's this new the squads, the new wave of these radical crazy people, and she's now no longer too radical enough, and she won't.
But I think
That
no, but
that's
I think even within the squad there's a schism, because what was it? Presley and Talib, like they're pro Palestine. They've said it on the record that they're pro Palestine.
more pro-Palestine, like
Yeah,
obviously,
and
because
so
they are the
AOC is still, honestly, she's the fence rider, because every single time that when Nancy Pelosi was still Speaker of the House, like she yanked her, Nancy Pelosi would yank on AOC chain, and she would get in line. So she would vote same way as all the other establishment Democrats. So I think AOC is the weak link in the chain that is the squad.
oh, I like it. But yeah, yeah, Talib and oh my god, it's like those people. I mean, they can't not talk about their Jew hatred. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh wait.
It's
Oh yeah, and Cori Bush. Yeah, her. Okay, so it's a split. So yeah, so it
G.I.
is a true
Jane.
split. Yeah, so Talib and Presley, they're often anti Israel, pro Palestine. AOC and Bush, they're more like they're the fence riders, and they're more leaning towards the
Yeah.
establishment, which is still pro Israel.
Yeah, I always call Bush G.I. Jane.
Wait, did she shave her head or was that Presley? Who cares?
Ayanna Presley is the one who has her because you have who's the one that like fucked her brother?
Oh yeah, that's Omar.
Yeah, Ilhan Omar. Thank you. Yeah, that's the other one that
That's
like it's
right.
her and Talib are like really close, and then you have Corey Bush and Ayanna Presley. Ayanna Presley is G.I. Jane, I think. Actually, now that I think about it, she's the one that's like
Okay, yeah, yeah,
has
yeah, yeah.
the alopecia or whatever.
Yeah, the Jada Pinkett
She has
Smith
the same thing
disease.
that whatever Will Smith's
Yeah, the
wife
Jada Pinkett
has.
Smith
Yeah,
disease.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not even joking here, but I'm sure that she's gonna push to have the alopecia rename that. Kind of
Yeah, oh yeah,
like
of course.
who's that baseball player? Lou Gehrig, yeah, like kind of how like ALS is known as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah,
I think Jada Pinkett Smith's gonna push for them to rename alopecia,
Jada Pinkett's disease.
JPS syndrome.
Oh, dude.
Oh, you got that JPS? Yeah, I got that Jada Pinkett syndrome.
Dude, it's a little tangent on this, but it's like, man, all the stuff that all these interviews that she's done after the whole debacle at the with the Oscars, I think.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, it's Will Smith got into like the wrong bed for sure because I mean, she's talking about like because didn't she come out with like a book or she was talking about like it's like me and um Tupac, like we were like really close, and it's like pretty much like they pretty much like they slept together and like
Yeah,
they were
no,
a thing until like
that's
he
not in
died.
question. But it's crazy because I think she even called Tupac like Willow and Jaden's like spiritual father.
Yeah,
That and
which I was like, what the fuck,
some fucked up shit like that.
dude? There's a lot of psychological damage that's going on in that
Dude, I
relationship. She
mean,
is a
but
fucked up
but no homo, but damn, you got to be wondering what kind of dick Tupac was slanging to make that bitch that crazy.
for
You
real.
know?
Yeah, it must be pretty damn good, man. Like
Yeah,
it's
or it could just be
Tupac from the grave still slinging it.
but what is it?
Did they?
But
Sorry, speaking of Tupac, didn't they finally solved his murder? Like who killed him? I think
allegedly, yeah,
allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah.
But what was it? God, oh man, I lost my train of thought. It's coming back to me. Oh, um, yeah. There's a term that's kind of that goes around in like the red pill spaces, uh, and that's alpha widowed, and Jada Pinkett is a prime candidate of that. And what alpha widowing is a woman who gets with like a top tier man, whether like actually or like just like she considers him a top tier man, and then she loses that man, and she becomes completely obsessed with him, and like no other man can measure up.
This is new to me. I've never heard this term before.
Yeah, but yeah, the term is called alpha widow, and so yeah, so like kind of like think of the most recent case of Jeff Bezos and his wife. I forget what
Uh-huh.
the wife's name is, but imagine that woman trying to date again. Like
Oh, it's just never gonna. No, it's never gonna match
yeah,
up.
exactly. Like, I know like she like not that like she's obsessed with Jeff Bezos or whatever, but
the money.
Jeff Bezos represents. Like she was with one of the most wealthiest men in America. Divorced her. I mean, yeah, she got like half his shit. But now, like, do you think any old guy or any old millionaire is gonna suffice?
I know. It's like you're a poor piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so that is the concept of alpha widowing.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. So like in the case of Jada and Will, it's like Tupac was still like kind of on the rise, right? In terms of financially, like money wise, like yeah, he was making money, but he wasn't like, he wasn't like he wasn't like
He's made more
he
money
isn't like
after his
yeah he
death
isn't
than
like
he
current
has in
day
life.
he isn't like current day Jay-Z, where Jay-Z owns like a basketball team, and um, has all these like these luxury brands and things like that in his portfolio.
And he's married to the top country singer of all time.
Right.
Oh,
But
fucking
yeah, so
crazy.
yeah, Tupac wasn't at that level, but for Jada, he was he was the top tier in like a different kind of way, right? And so after his passing, there was no one that could ever meet that level for her, And then I think that she got with Will because she saw that he was on a meteoric rise, and she thought that I mean I'm just speculating here, and I'm thinking that maybe she thought that he could eventually get to that Tupac level where not just like career wise he'll be top tier, but like maybe his mindset would also become top tier. But some it didn't necessarily happen. Where like something didn't like quite measure up to Tupac, which then made which then switched something in her mind where like she was like slowly destroying Will Smith.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, that
You know what
guy
it is?
is
You know what it is?
completely
It's
destroyed right now.
it's resentment. It's Jada Pinkett's Smith's resentment of Will Smith for not becoming Tupac.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's what it is. It's resentment. It's her resentment that Will Smith didn't become Tupac.
That's but yeah, that's what's going on with the squad too. Like, yeah, you're right. Like you have like the super crazy radicals and Talib and Omar, and that kind of represents. They are representative of the insane leftists that are in this country.
I mean, just really quickly
And
about Omar. I mean, if you want to talk about crazy, like she went on TV and said that she was put in like she felt that it was her duty in Congress to represent Somalians, like in Somalia.
yes, I did see that. Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
talk
we can
about
talk
that, but
about that.
yes,
But
it's like you don't get to. You should not be a uh, politician in America saying shit like that. That's like Nikki Haley saying that she's going to serve China, essentially, which is what she did. But it's the same fucking thing. It's like you don't get to be in politics anymore. I'm sorry. You don't get to have that
yeah, I mean,
power.
how she
It's
wasn't
get the
immediately.
fuck out of
Yeah, I don't
here.
know how she wasn't immediately booted from Congress and then like essentially stripped of her responsibilities. I don't know how that happens.
She fled that shithole. She fucked her brother and married him to come to this country to try to turn our country into Somalia. No, thank you.
Right, and then also saying like, oh, I'm in Congress to represent Somalia, and Somalians in Somalia over her own constituents here in America,
Yeah,
who are
fuck
also
that bitch.
probably they're Somalians too, but whatever.
Fuck that bitch, dude. Like, how can this person be allowed to serve in the United States Congress? That's insane to me.
You and me both, man. You and me both.
Honestly, that is if like when the country started and you had a congressperson who was like, you know who I want to serve? People from England.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
don't care. I don't care about America. I'm only going to serve people from
Right.
England.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Imagine
They would have booted.
they would have tarred and
What?
feathered they would have tarred and feathered him. Yeah. Imagine like we
Yeah.
just won a war for independence from the greatest empire, the greatest empire with the greatest military at that time. And then someone in the House of Representatives, the first American Congress that was called, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna advocate for British citizens in Britain.
Yeah. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they would have tarred and feathered his ass.
Yeah, fuck that guy. It's like, and fuck that bitch too.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
god,
but the
it's
left is
nuts.
yeah the left is yeah it was slow going, but I think the cannibalization of the left is underway, and I'm for it. I'm for it.
Have we yet found like I want to find like the craziest left person that's there because I feel like every time I feel like we've gotten like this far, it seems like we find it more people, and the fact that you have AOC who is kind of in line with the crazy of the craziest, and she's not crazy enough for some of these people. That means that those people are crazier.
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah. I mean, but
Don't.
when you're starting to have struggle sessions, and that's what it was. Like you can look at you can find the video and you can see that's a struggle session. They're like, say the word, call it genocide, say it right now. That's a struggle session. Um, when you
Aldous
start
Huxley
having struggle
and
sessions
George
with
Orwell
a darling,
laughing in the front of
yeah, when you
the
start having
grave.
struggle sessions with the darling of the left, you know things are fucked up.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's like Aldous Huxley and George Orwell and all these people who wrote about shit like this. They're laughing from their fucking
Oh
grave.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember there was a meme, but kind of like when it was kind of kicking off to like all this craziness. Um, what is it? It's like 1984 was a warning, not a how-to book.
Yeah, but it's like Fahrenheit 451 is happening. You have 1984 Brave New World. I mean, it's all the same shit. Like it's all happening right now
Yeah, I mean, even
in our
yeah, I
time.
mean, I know it's not exactly an apocalyptic kind of book or story, but like even like Logan's Run.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny. You and I were thinking the same thing. Yeah, Logan's
Yeah,
Run. I mean, it's not that far away.
yeah. I mean, particularly with like with no, that doesn't track because that's wait that remind me. Logan's Run was about a society. Wait, starved of. Oh no, it still applies because like the whole abortion thing. So they're saying that because of lack of resources, no one could get to like a certain age, and so we have to they have to like delete themselves.
Yeah,
Um,
that's well, yeah, because they would after a certain age, like the crystal in their
yeah,
palm would like
right,
glow, and it's like they would be
right,
eliminated.
and that's kind of the kind of scenario that's going on with where it's like the whole like abortion thing where like they're saying like oh we don't have enough resources so it's better that people don't have kids and so it's like it's so it is a form of um okay I'm gonna use a stupid word but like ageism.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing though, is that we do have plenty of resources. You just have asshole politicians and dictators who hoard that shit for themselves. That's what happens.
Or they make stupid policies based off emotion. So they see, because they say, oh, oil bad. Oh, look at these poor otters and sea lions that got coated with oil. So oil bad, and so they kill a power station that's run off oil, but then and it's like, oh, we're going to use renewables like wind and solar, but guess what? It's not always windy. The sun is only out for like at most 10 hours a day. What about
And that shit fucks up like bird migrations and like it kills off like whatever other animal population that's in that area of all the wide expanse that they have to create all that shit for. So it's the same problem, but it's like, well, we don't really care about those animals because it's wind and solar. It's cool, man.
right? Which and then they don't it's like with the solar panels that it takes rare earth minerals to create those, which then take um, energy to create that like the heavy excavating equipment like the what is it, like the backhoe things, and then like the earth movers and the dump trucks, and that's all run off right now still fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And so like they don't calculate. It's like when electric cars first were starting to come out, and like someone blew the whistle or would try to, anyways, talking about like everyone wants to get the electric car because oh, it's gonna be less damaging to the environment, but they only count the cost at purchase. They don't calculate production. And so like
Of course
your new
not.
EV is soaked in petroleum.
Yeah, for your purchase from purchase on, you would need to drive that car for like 40 years to make some sort of difference. Right. But those batteries don't last 40 years.
Yeah, and particularly in colder climates too.
Or hot climates.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you have to be living in some sort of temperate zone to own an EV.
Yeah, it's so. Oh my god. But there's no money in the other forms of production. Like so we have it's all of our lawmakers tend to be in the pocket of those people who are making batteries and solar and wind. Why do you think that they keep fighting for it?
Yeah,
because they're allowed to invest in the market, create laws to help their fucking portfolios. That's why
they're getting kickbacks. The politicians are getting kickbacks. Ooh, FYI, Newsom is going to be up for recall again.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, man, is it going to be the same? It's gonna be the same result. Let's just be honest. Like he's gonna get.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna have.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would like to think that the last few years have like opened people's eyes to this fucking this fucking Christian Bale wannabe. Yeah, probably same result. Like it's not gonna he's not gonna be kicked out. He's not gonna be recalled.
Well, maybe I wonder if we're gonna have the same players as last time. If Larry Elder runs again, I'm definitely gonna vote for him. But we'll see, because honestly, I don't feel that they never finished counting the ballots. By the way, from the last fucking recall, yeah. It's like, oh well, Gavin Newsom has won the recall.
Yeah, they count the one district where they know that he's gonna like blow it out. But then they called it like 5 minutes after they closed the ballots. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna win it. It's like only like 3% of the districts are reporting in.
Like literally 5 months after that, they still had never finished counting the ballots. It's like what the fuck? And you wonder why people are like don't trust the institutions.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I said
And
it before that
I
we
don't
have to
know.
all. This is not me giving advice, but I'm saying we have to all stay at home to make them look like idiots. Because like if no one votes, if like no one votes, then they say, oh, Gavin win, like they won by 53%. It's like show us the receipts. Because I still have my ballot. I still
Yeah,
have my ballot right here. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
That
it's we call it the cannibalization of the left, and it is happening, and it does happen every once in a while. But like, will it spark change? Not really, but
but
it's
it's
fun.
fun.
It's fun. Any opportunity, any chance to laugh, I'll take it.
The I take it is not, maybe it doesn't make a difference, but anytime I can revile and laugh at the things that I hate and make that it kind of shine a light on how stupid they are, I'll take
Yeah,
it. It's not much, but I'll take whatever win I can get.
it's the simple things in life.
Yeah. It was funny. We had a thing at church earlier in the year. It was kind of it was like a couples night that they were throwing together for, God, I don't remember what the reason was. But anyways, it was kind of
Is it
nice.
Valentine's theme?
And no, it wasn't Valentine's Day. It was something, it was kind of like a date night thing
Okay, so
for like
more
married couples, which
spontaneous,
is,
more spontaneous.
yeah, it was more spontaneous. And uh my wife and I, we were at a table with people we didn't know them. And yeah, one of the couples that was there, they the wife, she kind of worked in news. And it was funny because she was always like, yeah, like these I have to keep a straight face for certain things, but I am constantly rolling my eyes at these fucking politicians. Well,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
didn't say fucking, but she was like, I'm rolling my eyes at how terrible all these politicians are. It's like, and in my head, it's like,
It's
yep.
like you're my people. You're my people.
I'm like, yes. I was like, yeah, thank you. I know exactly what you're talking about because I do the same goddamn thing. It's like anytime I listen to these people, I'm like, shut
Right.
up. You're terrible. You're a liar. And yeah, people buy into this shit. I can't. Oh my god, it drives me fucking crazy. But it's like when these people like are being attacked by their, quote unquote, their own constituents, it makes me so happy. It's
Yeah, absolutely. Any opportunity to laugh at these chuckleheads, I'll take
yeah.
it. Anything else to add? I mean, I got nothing.
No, I got nothing else to add.
All right. Let's then move on to the next topic for discussion. And that's of course the absolute blowout of the Supreme Court decision to allow Donald Trump to remain on the ballot, particularly in Colorado. But that decision trickles down to all the other states. So
Like Illinois was trying it.
Maine, I think.
What was there was like another state
Yeah,
too that was
Maine, I
trying
think.
it too,
Maine.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, one of those
It's like,
northeast states.
oh my gosh, it made me CNN and MSNBC, like I mean, they were fucking jumping for joy. It's like, oh my, yeah, the rule of law is win, and like they brought on all these people, like the rule of law is winning. Oh, we're so happy. And then the Supreme Court ruled, it's like you can't do that.
Right? Yeah, just like
And not,
pushing all their
it
shit.
wasn't like a five. This was not a 5-4 decision. Even like the insane leftist judges, all the wishy-washy judges and the insane leftist judges that we have on the Supreme Court were like, no, you can't do
Right?
that. The states have no authority on a federal election to take off a candidate on the ballot, a legitimate candidate on the ballot. You don't have that power. You do not have that power. That means like that as much they don't like Trump, but they're like you can't go that far. This is too far. 9-0. And the crying, Andy, that happened on the news the day after, like today. It was like last night and this morning. The crying. Oh my god, it was delicious.
Chef's kiss.
Because let's be honest, Trump is going to be the Republican nominee, and they all the talk and everything that's going on. If he's on the ballot, they know they can't win. The way that they're talking, the media's talking, the way that the politicians are talking that don't like him, they know he's going to win. I don't think that, because I think that they know they can't pull the same wizardry that they did in 2020.
Oh, no, not to the level that they would need to. Like they would have to basically make it look like every person in America voted.
And the thing that I like, this dude is fucking with everybody. He did not show up to one Republican primary debate, and he fucking smoked them by like 20 points.
And I mean, and what is it? And in Nevada, where they didn't even have a sanctioned primary, Nikki Haley lost to none of the above. None. Like there was no contenders, and yet she still lost.
Oh my god! It's like, she is fucking horrible.
Yeah. I mean, I did, I have no like foreknowledge of Nikki Haley, except other than like she was the ambassador to the UN
ambassador, and she's been she was South Carolina's senator,
she was South Carolina governor.
Governor, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, she said something pretty awesome. The one thing that I remember her from is when she went to the UN. It was basically putting them on notice, telling all other like Western countries, because something was happening, and she's like, hey, we're gonna remember this day, and we're gonna know who our friends were, and who cut bait.
She's had some good moments. Yeah, I'll give her that. She's had some good moments.
I loved her for it, but then afterwards.
From that moment, she's been. I don't
like after she detached, like a leech. After she detached herself from Trump, like she was just awful. She could no longer coast on his residual like charisma or authenticity. And then she had to place herself up and like offer herself like, this is what I have to the table, and it sucks. It's a plate of dog shit.
Yeah, and it's just like from that moment when she like stepped down from the UN as being the UN ambassador, and pretty much kind of separated herself from the Trump presidency, she became something horrible. I mean, to be honest, I don't know anything about her before that time, so I don't know like what her track record is. But since that moment, she has been a shit show.
Yeah.
So my guess is that she was pretty much like that maybe from the beginning, but she hit it better, and now it's.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: because like during the primaries, I mean, if you close your eyes, and the things that she was saying, you would have thought that it was freaking Hillary Clinton up on that stage. And her talking about like, oh, I wear I wear 5-inch heels for ammunition. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Or it's like, oh, it's about time a woman, got on, led something and blah blah blah. It's just like,
oh my god,
it's like, what are you doing?
When that's the one thing the only good thing about the primaries what the primary debates was Vivek Ramaswamy just fucking laying into that bitch the entire
Yeah.
time.
Although I,
That was like his goal.
generally I'd abhor brown on brown violence,
I
but
like this one.
in this case, I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, because apparently, after she left after she stepped down as UN ambassador, and she went back, she was broke, and then she took a job at a freaking defense contractor. Um, started and then started pushing for wars. Surprise, surprise.
And I think that what Vivek did was smart because no one fucking likes Chris Christie. Like that guy is never gonna get elected to any. To be honest, the fact that like New Jersey keeps electing this fucking fat bastard, is a
Although I
surprise.
did,
But none of those other.
although I did hear an interesting theory that Chris Christie was only in as cover for Donald Trump. He was just there to siphon off votes from Christie, no, from Nikki Haley and all the other candidates, so that Trump would come out more on top.
Yeah, but it's like. Yeah, it's like that guy's not gonna get voted
Right,
for. Some of the other
but
guys,
I think
like,
the
what the
right,
fuck
but
is
I think the
this?
strategy is like Chris Christie wasn't running because he believed that he had a shot at being president. No, he was auditioning. He was signaling to Trump that like, hey, I'm still on your side, and I would like a cabinet position.
Yeah, he's not gonna. If Trump gives that guy a cabinet position, I would tell him to go fuck himself. Because go eat a hoagie, just go away.
Yeah, but yeah, I know like a lot of people were like, but I understand like what Christie was doing. He was like he was take you know he was siphoning off votes away from the other candidates.
But the only people that I think would get a cabinet position out of that are Tim Scott and Vivek. Tim Scott because he's not going to hurt anybody. He's kind of at the time a Pence who is just kind of like he's vanilla.
I
He's
know
not gonna
for a
he's
black
not
man,
gonna
he's pretty vanilla.
that guy is very vanilla. Mike Pence just is really fell off the map. Like he's really just
Yeah,
showed his
I know, but
colors.
yeah, he was established.
He
He what is it? Pence was only put in there to placate the establishment Republicans because the establishment Republicans were terrified of Trump, and Pence was there to reassure them, hey, it's cool, I can be a team player more or less, and so
I
that's why
think
Pence
now
was selected to be the running mate.
that's why I would say like you put Vivek as his running mate now because like who gives
No,
a shit at this point?
no, I don't think I don't think Vivek is a likely candidate, because I mean, above anything else, Trump is an egomaniac, and he has to be the funniest guy in the room, and he has to be the funniest, the smartest, the loudest voice in the room. So if he was to go, if okay, two options. He's gonna go for a very quiet or non-charismatic man, or a charismatic woman.
So for a just kind of like a blank slate of a man, I would say Tim
Yeah, that
Scott.
Tim Scott would be the obvious
Yeah.
choice.
Then, but if it's a charismatic woman, maybe a Carrie
Yeah,
Lake.
Carrie Lake or Christy Nome. Um,
Oh my God.
but yeah, because the thing is, like, he would pick a he would the reason only reason why he would pick like a, a a big personality, charismatic woman is because he doesn't he's not threatened by a woman. Trump's given Trump's record and like attitudes, like he's not
Yeah.
intimidated by women. But if he were to have a big type of personality, or a loud, boisterous personality in a male running mate like a Vivek. Vivek is a loud, uh, charismatic personality that could compete with Trump, and Trump can't have that. So it's not going to be Vivek.
Yeah, you're probably right, but to be honest, though, I really think that guy should be yes, at some in some sort of capacity in his cabinet, because that guy, I think,
Maybe press secretary.
is on the same
Maybe
program.
press secretary.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like, yeah, if he was gonna
but
go for if
yeah,
he
it
was
was
gonna go for
just
with a man, then yeah, it would probably be Tim Scott. But yeah,
Tim Scott's okay. He's fine.
yeah, but exactly. But he's
But
just
it's
like
just like
he's unassuming. He's gonna be
boring. He's
the
so
good
boring.
the good little bitch, behind Donald Trump, and Trump knows this because Tim Scott is not charismatic. He doesn't have the energy.
No, he's not. He's
He's a
oh my
plank of
god, I want
wood.
to
He's
fall
a plank
asleep
of
when
wood.
I hear him talking.
He's a plank
Yeah,
of wood.
I want to fall asleep when I hear
Yeah,
Tim Scott talking.
yeah.
And I don't disagree with him. I'm just like, dude, you're a plank of wood. I want to watch paint dry more than I want to hear you talk.
Yeah, exactly. So
But like I said, I think it's a huge deal that the Supreme Court is like, no, you can't do that. You have to have him on the ballot because they know that despite all the accusations and all this stuff, like he has not been convicted of anything. They will not convict him of any of this stuff because none of it is true. And whether you like the guy or not, he is a legitimate candidate and does care about the country, which I can't say about anybody else, hardly anybody else in the running. And at this point now, it's pretty much, Trump, whoever he picks, and then maybe Biden's corpse or some other, whoever the DNC decides to throw in at the last second to replace Biden.
yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't think she's up to the challenge, but I say, hey, if Biden croaks, I say give Kamala Harris her due, and let her go for it.
She's gonna fucking fall flat on her
That's what I'm
ass.
saying. But at least But I'm only applying their logic or their standard.
School buses, am I right? And Venn
I'm only
diagrams.
applying their standard. So it's like why not? Like, yeah, give the woman of color, first black Indian, whatever,
Whatever she
yeah,
chooses
whatever
for
she
the
chooses
day.
for the day, chance at becoming president. And how dare you try to steal it from a proud black Indian woman, whatever the fuck that is. Because what is a woman?
Good lord. She is a word salad mess. That's what she is.
Yeah, you don't have diabetes. Yeah, absolutely. Just listening to Kamala Harris. Oh my god, it's causing my brain to hurt right now just thinking about it.
Yeah. I can hear that cackling horror in my head right now. And it's just like,
Oh,
it when if she wasn't in the position she was in, it'd be
yeah.
hilarious.
Oh, and just like one more thing about Nikki Haley, like, yeah, just like towards the end of last month, it came out like she was like having affairs, while her husband was deployed.
Of course she was. Yeah, she's also a whore. She's just like every other a lot of these other military wives who just are pieces of shit, and they cheat on their husbands while they're gone. And I'm not saying that that means that like the husbands are not at fault. Maybe like the husbands are not good either, but it's you're kind of playing into the you're a piece of shit. You're at fault too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and this is why women shouldn't be in politics or in leadership positions because, um, I mean, Bill Clinton is the template. Like America can forgive a philandering a man, but they can't. They'll never forgive a philandering woman.
No.
And that's like a general. That's like across cultures too.
Which is kind of interesting because well, Clinton is he's a rapist and a philanderer. But yeah, if like a woman if a woman does this, like, yeah, it's no one wants that. I mean, how so many of our presidents have been philanderers, like you look FDR, JFK. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
God, so many of like the president's wives are just fucking dogs. Ugh. Have you seen some of their pictures? Like, good God, they're ugly.
Yeah.
It's like
What's her
no
face?
wonder these
What's her
fuckers
face?
cheated.
FDR's wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
Eleanor
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Oh
Good
my gosh.
fucking God, she is
Yeah,
ugly. Oh, whoa.
and there were six cousins or whatever.
Yeah, some
Yeah, they were
crazy
related. That's what it
they
was.
weren't quite family, but
Yeah, they were
yeah.
related. Yeah, they weren't first cousins or second cousins. They were like they were like sixth or
I mean, it's
16th
not
cousins.
Ilhan Omar
Right.
fucking her
Yeah.
brother bad, but it's it's in the it's
Yeah, and I mean, and sorry to say, yeah, a part of a woman's value is dependent on her looks. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Yeah,
what?
and
Well,
cancel.
Eleanor Roosevelt was a lesbian, by the way.
I
She
believe it.
or
I
bisexual
believe
at
it.
least. Because she did have a relationship with like her secretary, and like they were fucking.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it's
But, yeah, and that's I mean that I mean yeah, call me sexist all you want, but yeah, that's why I don't think women should be in politics or in any leadership position over men.
and there was a point too. Like, was it when Woodrow Wilson was fucking vegetable? His wife was running the
Yeah,
fucking country. What the fuck is
yeah. I
that?
mean, and even now, like
Which is
I wouldn't
what?
be
Let's
surprised.
be honest. That's what's
Yeah,
happening
exactly.
right
I wouldn't be.
now.
Yeah, right now, currently, I wouldn't be surprised if Jill Biden wasn't the one calling the shots. I wouldn't be surprised. Someone if story broke tomorrow saying, "Oh, Jill Biden's been the one signing all the executive orders and stuff," it's like imagine my shock.
You're all breakfast tacos.
Imagine my shock. You'll have to just imagine my shock.
You know what? Here's what's gonna happen. 20 years from now, when they're both fucking dead, we're gonna hear about that. Yeah, it turns out that Jill Biden was running the country when Joe was president. It's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because they're both idiots. Like one because his brain is broken because he's with dementia, but she's an idiot
Yeah, and
too.
all this doctor stuff is just to inflate her, her sense of importance. All right,
You're Jill
she has a
Biden.
fucking doctorate in English.
She should be the
Surgeon General, yeah.
Surgeon General.
That's a real
What
quote
the
there from Whoopi Goldberg, because Whoopi Goldberg is an idiot. It's really sad because I really loved her in Star Trek.
Oh, she was amazing in Star. And she was great in
Yeah,
Sister
Sister
Act.
Act.
She was great in Ghost, great actress in those movies, but my God, she is a fucking
she just has some horrible
dumbass.
takes.
Good Lord. I forgot about that for a second. Oh God, Whoopi Goldberg. Good Lord. That's what I'm telling. These people are the fucking media. They are pushing this stuff. Like they want to make you think that you're crazy. These are real quotes from real people that are in the media, and no, I never said that. No.
You
Roll
sure
the
did.
tape.
You sure did.
It's like Richard Dawson on Family Feud. Survey says.
Liar.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Supreme Court decision is like, it is historic.
That's
it's
huge.
Historic. 9-0, a blowout. All right, not even close. Not even one dissenting vote. Not even one dissenting vote.
No Sotomayor, no Ketanji Brown Jackson, no Waffler and one of the middle people.
Roberts is Roberts is still a swing vote, and so is Amy Coney Barrett.
All these fucking women with their goddamn 3 names. Like, just shut up. Just you're
Amy Barrett. But yeah, Amy Barrett, she's a swing vote too. If the whole thing about the border decision wasn't proof enough why women shouldn't be in positions of power. That's why. Yeah.
Or like, it's funny because like Sotomayor is like, I don't understand English. So yeah, I'm gonna vote the other way. She does that whole shtick, but no, she didn't do it this time. So even she realized, like, yeah, that you can't do that.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you might, a cynical person like myself would say that, that they recognized, if they had, or let's say like if they had voted, the opposite way, and somehow there were enough votes to actually, and make it a close one the other way, I think they recognized that, if Republicans ever grew a set of balls and decided to, get a little dirt on their hands, and try the same tactic, then it would have been on them, because they made the decision that would apply all the way down to municipal elections.
Let's be honest, Andy. That's never gonna fucking happen.
What's not gonna happen?
Republicans are never gonna get their hands dirty. Like,
yeah. I know.
They are this most spineless fucking.
Yeah.
It's the most spineless fucking party
hence
ever.
Why I registered as non-affiliate, which basically means independent here in Los Angeles. I'm non-affiliated. Affiliated. Because I have this crazy thing about winning. I want to win.
Yeah.
I know that makes me crazy.
You're a radical, sir.
Yeah, but I'd be a winning radical.
I can count on one hand actual politicians who might actually get something done.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand.
That's why I'm still holding out hope for that Paul Massey ticket in 2028.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I know. Rand Paul and Rand Paul and something Massey. Yeah, what the hell is his first name?
Isn't it Paul?
No, that's Rand Paul.
Yeah, Rand Paul. Oh yeah, the Paul
Yeah,
Massey
Paul
ticket. Yeah,
Massey.
what is Massey's first name? It's like
God, I mean, I love this guy, so I should know his first name. Phil Massey? No. Tom Massey?
let's look it up. Just make sure we
Yeah,
want
put
to
some
get the name
respect
right.
on that name.
Chris Massey.
No, that's not it either.
No.
Thomas Massey. Okay, there it is. That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, and he's from Kentucky.
Aren't they both from Kentucky?
Yeah. Well, Rand Paul's a senator, but Thomas Massey is in the Congress. He's a representative. He's a
You're
congressional
right. You're right.
representative from Kentucky's 4th congressional district.
But yeah, that would be great. God, Rand Paul, like, that would be the guy I would go for because that guy does not. He is like fuck all these people. Let's just do what needs to be done.
Yeah. So holding
But
out
yeah,
hope for Paul Massey, 2028.
yeah, I'm down for that. I'd vote for that. All right, well, let's get into let's let our hair down. Let's get into some fun. Let's talk about the movie.
That'll conclude our topics for discussion. What that means we'll be moving on to our movie review. Just to remind you, tonight we'll be reviewing Rush Hour from 1998, starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. I'll hit everyone with the synopsis, and we'll get going. Rush Hour. When a Chinese diplomat's daughter is kidnapped in Los Angeles, he calls in Hong Kong detective Inspector Lee to assist the FBI with the case. But the FBI doesn't want anything to do with Lee, and they dump him off on the LAPD, who assign wisecracking detective James Carter to watch over him. Although Lee and Carter can't stand each other, they choose to work together to solve the case on their own when they figure out they've been ditched by both FBI and police.
I'm almost done.
Yeah, this movie was put out, released in 1998, directed by Bill Ratner. What is it? Budget of $35 million. Box office take well over that. 244 million. Distributed by New Line Cinema, Warner Brothers, Columbia Pictures, TriStar. The Rush Hour comedy classic. What the hell? No. Oh, sorry about that, folks. I just saw a quick. When I was reading off the synopsis, I saw a quick video of a potential Rush Hour 4.
Man, I don't know how that's gonna go.
So
I mean, I'd like to see it, of course, but I'm just like, because the third one was not great. So it's more of like, I don't know how that's gonna be.
But I mean, you could. But
the
an argument could be made that 2 and 3 were just retellings of the first one.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Yeah,
I mean, if you really break it down, as much as I love the second one too, the second one I thought it was great, but it's essentially the same story.
And really, do you? But you don't care.
Yeah, you don't
There,
care. I
it's
mean, yeah, it's
well, Police Story 1 and 2 are, there. It's the Police Story movies. Maybe that's a Jackie Chan thing. I don't know,
yeah.
but
Well, I mean, well,
you don't
it's a
care
Brett
because it's
Ratner
fun.
thing because what is it? I did, I did a long time ago. I watched this thing because when it was announced that Brett Ratner would be helming the third X-Men movie, there's a lot of people who
Uh
were
huh.
like who were upset about this, and I didn't understand. And then
Hmm.
I saw some essays, and it talked about the very first movie he ever made. It was like an independent thing. He shot it for like next to nothing. Um, but
Right. Right.
there's a story about like this, this hitman, um, and this policeman who's trying to stop the hitman, and the hitman was thought to be a man, a certain type of man, and like more like a fedora and like an overcoat, um, and then, well, long story short, the hitman, uh, completes his contract. But then it's revealed that the hit man turns out to be a hit woman.
Oh Lord.
And so the hit woman discards all her male clothing and passes by the policeman unawares, that woman was the hitman. And so, but when you think about it, that's the basic story of the Rush Hours. Kind of misdirection.
No, well, that's true. Yeah, there's misdirection in that. Yeah.
So yeah, people were upset that like kind of made the made the made the case that Brett Ratner was like a one trick pony, and like he only like really made his name because he directed a music video for Mariah Carey, which is why he uses that Mariah Carey song for that opening scene.
Oh wow. Well, I will say though that this first iteration of Rush Hour is amazing. It is really good. Maybe the guy is a one trick pony. Maybe that's the case. Like I said, I like Rush Hour 1 and 2. I do like 3, but it's not to the same
Yeah.
degree. I don't think it's as bad as Beverly Hills Cop 3, which is terrible,
Fair enough.
fucking
Fair enough.
awful. But yeah, but this film, did you watch this in theaters, or did you come to it like maybe like video rental or anything like that? When did you come to Rush Hour?
I don't recall if I watched this in theaters. I just know that
I know I watched 2 and I know I saw 2 in
uh-huh.
theaters. I think I saw the first one. I have a feeling that me and my friend rented it before we watched number
Mhm.
2. Because he's the guy that kind of got me into like a lot of the kung fu stuff. So I was interested in Jackie Chan, and um when this was coming out, I was like, oh, we got to watch the first one before we see the second one. I was like, okay, cool,
Mhm.
let's do it. And so so I remember renting it before watching number 2. So that's how I came to it.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember if I saw it. I think I did see it in theaters, but I just can't. I honestly can't remember. But yeah, it's and I was familiar with Jackie Chan because again, my older cousins, they would always, they were really interested in Hong Kong cinema, and so they would get,
How did you first come to Jackie
well,
Chan?
again, through my cousins, not
Yeah,
Police Story, but what was it? Uh,
Drunken
no,
Master or
Twin Dragons.
oh, I didn't I have
Yeah,
not seen Twin
I
Dragons.
distinctly remember watching that movie. Uh, you know, or at least I have a vague recollection of it. Um, but yeah,
Okay,
for those of you
okay.
who don't know, the Twin Dragons is a story where Jackie Chan plays twins that get separated at birth. One, the twins were born to this wealthy couple, but the babies got separated at birth, and so one of the twins was raised, by the parents, and in luxury and in privilege, and he became a piano virtuoso, while the other twin was raised by a hooker, and and was raised on the street. He became streetwise, and he eventually gets work, becomes a mechanic. Um, and then hijinks
Yeah.
ensue, and
Okay.
like they their paths cross, and they discover that they're actually brothers. But they also have like this twin connection. So if one twin does something, then the other twin starts kind of doing the same thing. So like when the piano virtuoso twin is playing piano, like the mechanic twin's brother, mechanic twin, his hands start moving in a way like like he was playing the piano. Um, and the mechanic twin, he's the fighter, so like when he starts fighting, the other twin starts fighting.
Yeah. And the reason I ask that is because I have a feeling that Rush Hour is really the first movie that most people from
The West,
from
yeah.
the United States came to Jackie Chan, because he did have a few films that he did earlier on that were just not received
Mm-hmm.
well, because people didn't realize when, oh, like, well, we like your action stuff. Well, why don't you? What do you mean you can't do that in like a couple of weeks to do this setup? It's like the coordination for the action takes 6 months. Well, we no, we don't have that, and so he doesn't get the early movies that he's in the United States. Just doesn't work. And so he goes back to Hong Kong, and I mean, obviously, we there's the he had done the Beijing Opera House, where he's
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
the
yeah,
training regimen for
yeah.
that is
Jackie
insane.
Chan is a classically trained, like, basically opera singer and like ballet.
Well, I mean, that's what it
Like,
is, but like the training that those
like,
guys
yeah,
went
not
through
like the
is,
West, like with the tights and stuff, but he's classically trained in, like, in the Chinese, like, opera and like essentially ballet, like fight choreography.
yeah, yeah, the stuff that he had to do
Yeah.
is nuts. But anyways, yeah, and so he has some like early work in like The Young Master, Drunken Master, uh, some of this stuff, and that's what like got him over to America. That didn't work, so then he goes back to Hong Kong, directs Police Story, and kind of creates it helps get that which becomes a franchise off the ground. Kind of, and he has his stuff that he does, and I think he had one other American venture,
Mm-hmm.
but Rush Hour is the movie that most people in this country will remember his start.
Yeah, or at least, yeah, there,
They
yeah,
think that that's
yeah.
his start.
A lot of people think that Rush Hour was his, like, breakthrough into, like, the Western market, but you know, yeah, I mean, he had a career.
Yeah,
He
but
had a
he was,
career in Hong Kong. He had some attempts in America, but they were trying to do a copy paste thing where they're just like, just trying to do like an action thing, or they're like trying to make him. I mean, and even in Hong Kong, they try to make him into a Bruce Lee clone, but didn't work for him, um, because because
well,
because
because he
Jackie Chan's very lighthearted,
yeah,
and so
well, his one of his favorite actors and directors is
right.
Buster Keaton. He talks about that all the time, and
Yeah,
so
so he was like really into
a
stunts.
lot of
Yeah,
the
he was really into
action.
stunts, and stunts as a vehicle for telling a story. Um, so he really wanted to make like the stunts like memorable and intricate, and but not like in a serious, like, and he wanted to like them to be have like a sense, like there to be like lightheartedness to them, like, because like kind of in the same vein of Buster Keaton, like Like some of the stunts that Buster Keaton did were extreme, but they were kind of like pratfalls, you know. And
Yeah.
so Jackie Chan, he wanted that same kind of energy for his stuff as well. But yeah, this.
Uh, well, it's kind of a shame because he's almost 40 when this movie comes out, and well, the movies that he does put out in this country are very good. It's just we don't get police story Jackie Chan in this country, which is uh if you have not seen Police Story, watch it. It's so fucking good. The action in that is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just like because what we reviewed Police Story, yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
and that one
Yes, we did.
scene in the no,
The
well,
mall.
not even just the mall, but just like the when he got restationed at like that Podunk police station, and he was answering all those phones, and then he did that one trick with the pencil, like, and at the end you see
80
80 something takes, yeah, 80 something takes, and like at the end they show you like a small like super cut of it where he's like he has all these phones and he needs to write something down, and he flicks a pencil with his foot, and like he's supposed to catch it, and just imagine like how many takes it took for him to catch that pencil.
For
Yeah,
this one
for like
scene,
5 seconds,
it was
for a
80
5 second bit in a
takes.
scene. Yeah. Yeah.
Nuts.
But but for this
But
story, yeah, a little less involved. I mean, yeah, because he was almost 40, but still the stunts were impressive.
God damn, this movie is so good. I mean, and Chris Tucker's really good too because
Yeah, I'm gonna say, dude, the almost like I know like the kind of the throwaway lines that Chris Tucker throws out there in this movie are fucking awesome. I'm just gonna say,
yes, they
because
are.
like they happen like so quickly, but like a lot of people would think that they're throwaway lines, but oh my god, they're so hilarious. Like when they were visiting Sean Penn's character in prison, and they're trying to get information from him, and Sean Penn tells him to kiss his ass, and Chris Tucker retorts, is like, oh man, it's gonna take me all day to kiss your ass, you know.
Because he's
Yeah,
a fat guy.
if you don't know, Sean Penn is kind of on the chubbier side, and so so when he says like, oh yeah, kiss my ass to their request for information, and Chris Tucker like immediately retorts like, man, it's gonna take me all day to kiss your ass.
Yeah, it's there's Chris Tucker. This is really the film that I think made him. You could argue that it was the what the hell is that Bruce Willis film, The
Oh.
Fifth Element. You could argue maybe that one.
I
I
would
would say
that it got
that
him more noticed.
it.
I
This is the film that I think got put
Right. I
him
think
on the
that
map.
made him like a solid like contender for sort of A minus celebrity, because I think Fifth Element got him noticed by the mainstream, and then because a lot of people already know who Chris Tucker was because of his comedy, and then also for kind of like your lowbrow people, what is it, Friday?
Oh, fuck! I totally forgot about
Exactly.
that.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I think
Friday is a
yeah
banger. Yeah, it's a
So I
great
think
movie.
Fifth Element, like he was already big like within like kind of like the smaller like
But those came out the same year too.
what did
Friday and Fifth Element,
oh right. So I think
95.
yeah, and I mean yeah, you can make your assessments on his performance in Fifth Element, but I mean as a young kid watching that movie, I thought he was hilarious, like screaming all the time and whatever.
God, knock the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh no, I was talking about in Fifth Element where he's like kind of like
Well,
the
yeah, I know.
annoying
It's like, but
DJ, radio
yes,
host.
but he was
But yeah,
great.
I mean, as a kid, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious, like him like screaming his head off and everything. But yeah, I think Fifth Element like brought him in front of more like mainstream audience, and of course, he did well in, he played to his audience in, Friday, but you're right. I think Rush Hour was what like catapulted him to household name status.
Yeah, and it's same thing because it brought Jackie Chan to the American
Right, yeah.
audience as
This is
well.
this was the entry point for a lot of people in the West to Jackie Chan.
And I think it's great. Like you have these two play off of each other very well. You have the action, you have the comedy,
Yeah, you have the culture
and
shock.
Tucker, the fish out of water theme, because you have Tucker's character in trying to help Lee, which is Jackie Chan's character. He's being enlisted to help the Chinese ambassador in America after his daughter's kidnapped, and so there's that whole thing. And Tucker's character doesn't like partners, but he's thrust in this situation with this guy who is a foreigner,
Yeah, because
and it turns out that they
what is it? It's the assignment is essentially a babysitting job because the FBI
yeah
doesn't want you know Lee to participate because one, like he's also international, and I think like if I think he could be I think he could be considered a diplomat too. So like
right.
if he's like working this case and his head gets shot off, then they're gonna have an international incident. So I think that's like one area where I understand why the FBI didn't want Lee's involvement. Um, but then secondly, like instead of putting one of their own men on on this detail of babysitting, they get Chris Tucker, who was an LAPD detective, to kind of like degrade and to denigrate the LAPD in this manner. And Carter
And they all
initially.
and the LPG chose like the person that Carter, they chose like the guy that they didn't like from their department to
Right, yeah,
do
because
it.
Carter was already.
And it's not because he's a bad cop. He's not a bad cop. He's a smart guy. He's just an
Yeah,
asshole.
right, yeah, 'cause Carter didn't get. Yeah, initially, Carter gets into trouble because there's an incident that happened at the beginning of the movie where he's posing as I don't know, maybe like an arms dealer or maybe just like a gangbanger who's trying to get his hands on some C4. That's where Chris Penn character comes in. Um, but anyways, there a situation happens and he immediately results to violence, which causes a car full of C4 to explode. And Carter thinks that he's gonna get in trouble, but his captain, not wanting to deal with him, sends him off to this bullshit assignment with the FBI.
You know what I just realized about this film, and I'm kind of surprised it took me this long to figure this out. This is Beverly Hills Cop meets Police Story.
Ah, I see it. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because you have a the black cop from the city who like doesn't like to work with partners, trying to figure out a case on his own. Going to LA, it's in LA obviously, but then you have Jackie Chan's character who is a top cop in his own right in Hong Kong, coming together with this LAPD officer who's also a good detective. Kind of they're both fish out of waters in a sense, because Carter doesn't really work well with partners, and you have Lee who
Yeah, he's a
is in
foreigner.
another
So.
country, and they have to work together. So they're both fish out of water, but it's like I said, it's Police Story meets Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Axel Foley in
Yeah,
Carter,
I see it now. Yeah.
but it's great. I mean the action. What are some of your favorite action scenes from Rush Hour?
I think probably when Lee kind of ditches Carter and he gets to the consulate and then he handles all the FBI agents. That's
That
pretty
was
slick.
that's a great one. Yeah,
That's pretty slick.
I like the when they're in that
Mm-hmm.
pool hall that Carter brings Lee to, and which is run by one of Carter's friends, essentially his
Yeah.
cousin. But then he has Lee wait outside and is like,
Yeah.
Lee,
Come here. Like, what's up, my nigga?
Lee,
He's like, what'd you say? He's like, I said, what's up, my nigga?
and then fucking like
Yeah.
pops off. It's so good. And then obviously the um what was the other like really great scene? Oh, I also like the when Carter is chasing Lee down, uh and like Lee gets on like the bus
Mm-mm.
and Carter has to
Yeah.
jump on the bus. Like remember from Police Story when Jackie Chan's character has to
Yeah.
like he's like hanging
Uh-huh.
on the bus? This is right off of
That
Police
is
Story.
right. Oh my gosh. You're right. I don't know why I didn't see the connections either. It's staring me right in the face.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's so like it's I actually got this like really cool like Rush Hour trilogy collection. Like this like really has this really like nice artwork and stuff to it. But yeah, the action's great. The comedy is also great because these guys I think do have a respect for one another, but they don't initially want to show it. The arguments of them like talking about like whose
Oh
dad
yeah,
is greater
I
because
was
they
just
heard
thinking
their
about
dad
that.
both
Oh my god.
detectives, or like when they're singing
War, yeah.
to war. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's like how do you know war? It's
Everybody
like
knows
who
war.
doesn't know war?
Everybody knows war.
Yeah, it's like no,
Like
it's
you all.
y'all, y'all. Yeah,
It's
it's
like, good God, you
and it's
all.
funny
It's not
even
you all, it's y'all. Y'all.
in the bloopers where they because Jackie Chan's English is
Uh-huh.
not the best, but he's trying. But then like when there's a blooper scene at the end of the film where Carter is trying to speak
Mm-hmm.
Chinese to
Yeah.
the stewardess, and it's like, and the blooper is like he can't
Yeah.
say it. It's like he cannot speak 3 Chinese words, and it's like, and you're giving me shit. It's like-
Yeah. Yeah. I like
and that was a struggle that Jackie Chan talked about, where it's like it it was really hard to play off of
mm,
him sometimes because his English is so
yeah.
fast, and it was hard for him to understand. And so they would have a lot of takes
Mm,
because of that,
yeah.
because there was a lot of ad
Right.
libbing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning, where like Carter had all those throwaway, like supposedly throwaway lines, but they were like so hilarious. Like it was like so fast that like I'm sure that's also one of the reasons why there's
We got
like
Chelsea
Chelsea
Carter.
Connor, it's like Chelsea Clinton, it's like Kelsey or Chelsea, you know. But yeah, just like he just had
But I like the idea that they had like the all the other Jackie Chan films. They had the bloopers at the
yeah.
end, but not just of Jackie, but of
Mm.
everything. And it was just because you can see that everyone's having fun with the story.
Dude, I wonder if I wonder when they go to talk to Johnson about the uh, remote detonator. When she's doing her
Mhm.
test, and then when as they're leaving, Carter thanks her, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I spread all those rumors about us sleeping together." And then she gets like upset, and then Jackie like tries to stop her.
Oh, you
Yeah,
motherfucker.
and Jackie Chan
Yeah.
puts his hands up to stop her, and he accidentally like cups her breasts. I wonder if that was an outtake that they just kept like. Yeah,
I hope so. I really hope so.
you know.
That would be fucking
Yeah, it's like
great.
yeah. Because I know like Carter is the one like the ad libs or whatever, but I wonder like if that was just like a take where Jackie like accidentally put it like cupped like Elizabeth Pena's breasts, and he's like, oh sorry, and then like kind of runs out of the scene.
She was great
Yeah.
too. Like Elizabeth Pena
Mm-hmm.
was great. Um, the guy who plays the Chinese ambassador,
Yeah,
he's
Yue
really
Mao.
good. Um, the guy who plays Jun Tao is great.
Yeah, Tom Wilkinson.
Um,
He also
yeah, Tom
played
Wilkinson.
General Cornwallis in The Patriot.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally. Did he just pass away recently,
I don't remember hearing anything about that. Oh, he was also
or is he still?
the secretary in Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Yes, I think he did recently pass away.
Let me see. Oh wait, I saw. Yep, he passed away. Oh yeah, last year.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did recently pass away.
literally a day before New Year's Eve.
Yeah, but you throw this guy into something, he's gonna elevate it,
Yeah,
and
he played. Yeah,
he was
yeah. He
great
also played
as.
the mob boss Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, this guy is practically this guy is
In
that
Batman
guy's yeah. Tom
Begins.
Wilkins is kind of like the white Samuel L. Jackson. He's in everything.
Yeah, he's your Swiss Army knife. You throw him into something, it's gonna make it great.
Yeah, I mean, and then surprise, surprise, at the end of the movie, we find out that he's the crime lord known as Jun Tao. Yeah,
Jun Tao, yeah,
which I looked
and
up, and it Jun Tao means willed person.
yeah, essentially because this is right before
Yeah, the handoff. Yeah,
English sells back Hong Kong to China, and so I think he was stealing antiquities from Hong Kong uh, until Inspector Lee ends up stealing them all back. And it at first we're kind of thinking that the other like Asian guy, like kind of with the short hair, that is one of the other antagonists, who I do not know who
it's
plays him. I
Ken
can't think of
Lung.
his name. Yeah, Ken Long. We're thinking that he might be Jun Tao, but in reality, it was Tom Wilkinson's character all along, who has been like kind of the friend to the ambassador, and like kind of just been playing everything up, or he's been kind of the head of the overlooking the police, but in reality, he's also the crime lord. So it's kind of he's in a way been able to stay a step ahead up until the very end, until the handover. And so him stealing, kidnapping, um, what's the ambassador's name? Is it Lin?
The character's name?
Yeah. What's his
Han.
name? Han. Yeah, Ambassador Han's daughter, to essentially get back the money that he would have made off of the
Yeah.
antiquities. That was the whole idea behind
The kidnapping, yeah.
behind the kidnapping. Yeah. So, like I said, it's a pretty simple plot, but damn, like the character progression, the action, the comedy is just top notch. I mean, this is a film I have probably watched 30 times, and I never ever get tired of it, and I laugh every time. Like this is one of the top tier action comedies that you can look for. Beverly Hills Cop is another one. Uh, yeah, the second one is also like really, really funny. I'm trying to think of like a really other good like action. I mean, Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's another one that is this. These are the films that are in like constant rotation for me. But yeah, I you've probably seen Rush Hour a zillion times
Yeah,
too,
of
right,
course.
Andy?
Yeah, I mean before streaming and stuff, like if Rush Hour was ever, if I was like flipping through the channels and Rush Hour was ever on, I'd stop and watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those movies.
It's just so good. But yeah, I trying to think of like there's any other like scene
Well, one of my
or
favorites
something.
was at the expo, and when it's revealed that Tom Wilkinson's character is Juntao, and then Carter finds where the daughter was being held, and he crashes into the expo, and he's like, because the daughter is strapped with plastic explosives, and Tom Wilkinson's character is threatening to detonate uh, the explosives. He brings the explosives to them, and he's like, "Oh, it's like, yeah, like push the button," and then like the little girl's like freaked out. It's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, just play along," And then she kind of gets spirited. It's like, "Yeah, push the button."
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a great scene. No, you know what the other scene that I really like in it's kind of the one of the non-comedy moments
Yeah.
of the movie is where they end up uh, Lee and Carter seemingly have fucked
Right.
up the case, right? It was after the battle
The Chinese restaurant.
in the Chinese restaurant, and Carter knows is like, I know, well, we got to make this right, and he kind of figures out what's
Mm-hmm.
going on, and he has to humble himself to his to what the hell is Pena's character's name? What's her
Well, she
name?
just goes by Johnson.
Johnson. Yeah, when he has to humble himself
Mm-hmm.
to her, and he's like, "Hey, listen, you know what?" He apologizes for like all his
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. And he's like, "Listen, it's not about me anymore. It's about the little girl." And it's like I have some leads, and I need to know if I can count on you to back me up on this thing. Can you just like, well, yeah, I can. I'll see if I can look into that. It's like, no, 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 no. I don't need to know if you can see about it. I need to know if you can do it. And it's like, yeah, I'll be there. That scene, like where he's driving to the airport to
Yeah,
kind of like confront Lee. It's like, yeah, it's like, hey, we gotta finish this. That was such. I think that's like a moment in the film too that I think makes this film even better.
yeah, and then
Just to
yeah, it's
have that
also
one
revealed
moment.
like why Carter doesn't like to work with partners because in his because his dad was a police officer who got killed in the line of duty, and his partner didn't back him up, and so
Come
so
up.
he has that prejudice, or yeah, he has that prejudice against working with anybody else because he fears that they'll never have his back. But it's like this is the first time like where in him working with Lee, he finally found someone he knows will back him up.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about their relationship. Like, even though they don't initially like each other, they come to gain respect for one another, and they become
Mm-hmm.
friends. And now it's about, and when Carter kind of humbles himself, it's not only because he wants to find the girl, it's because he wants to help
Mm-hmm.
Lee. And he wants to help out
Yeah,
his partner that he found.
yeah,
So I think, like I said, this movie is great. I like everything about it. I like how it starts. I like the middle. I like how it ends. And I think this is of the action comedies. This is at like the top of the pile of action comedies.
yeah. Oh, I just thought, yeah. I talked about Chris Tucker and his like kind of like throwaway lines, but Jackie Chan does have a really good throwaway line in there that a lot of people probably didn't catch, but on this my probably like 70th viewing I finally caught, and it's absolutely hilarious. It's just before that they go into the Chinese restaurant, and Chris Tucker goes in first, and he tells Lee, he's like, "Oh, to back him up." It's like, "Oh, and he gives him his badge.
Oh
He gives him
yes,
his badge, and then just coming in and like just like bust it out, go LAPD,
not six
and then
two.
Lee opens it. It's like this will never work. I'm not 6'2". It's like because that's the first thing that people are gonna notice. Oh, that was
That
so
was
brilliant.
so
That's
great.
so brilliant.
I
Yeah.
love that line. It's just like, see, that's what makes the comedy so great. Because obviously everyone's thinking like he's gonna make a black joke
Yeah.
there, but no, he makes a height
Exactly.
joke. It's a great. I love it.
Yeah, I know. It's like this. Yeah, this is probably like again, this is probably my 70th viewing, and it only just occurred to me now that he didn't go for the obvious thing. He's like, oh, I'm not black. He's like, no, like, I'm not 6'2".
And that's where like
Oh.
I wonder if, because Jackie Chan knows
Mhm.
comedy. Like we've seen it in Police
Mhm.
Story, obviously, and some of his all of his other like
Right.
Hong Kong films. But I where Chris Tucker really entrusted Jackie Chan with the action is like, hey, whatever Jackie wants me to do, I'm gonna do it. And he didn't use a stunt double a whole lot. He entrusted. I He got himself into shape. He wanted to like be. He's like, I'm working with Jackie Chan. I got to step up my game, and Jackie Chan he's gonna help me through this. So I'm gonna trust him, and he did that. And I wonder if maybe on some of the comedy stuff that Jackie Chan entrusted Chris Tucker to help him out with that as well. And so a line like that, it's like, no. Let's not go with the black joke. Let's go with the let's really circumvent this.
Let's
We're gonna go with
subvert.
a
Yeah,
height joke.
in a good way, subvert expectations.
Yes, exactly. Normally I hate that, but that's in this case it's perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, though. Yeah.
And yeah, and not only did their characters like really mesh well together, but based off all like the behind the scenes stuff I saw, they Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan really meshed
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
together.
They had
And
really good. They had
because
good
they
on-screen chemistry and off-screen chemistry.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is then backed up again in Rush Hour 2 with like the bloopers and how there's. I mean, I'm kind of jumping
Yeah,
the
and
gun,
it's funny
but
because
like
now
yeah, it's like they're doing a scene and Chris Tucker left his phone on, and then like he's like he answering the phone like it's like man, I'm doing this movie with Jackie Chan. It's like no, you can't talk with Jackie Chan. No, you can't talk. It's like Jackie Chan, talk to this man. And then he's talking to one of
yeah,
Chris
I
Tucker's
remember, yeah,
friends. It's
that was
like,
great.
hey, it's like, yeah, what are you doing? You're wasting our film.
Yeah, that was great. The what was it the yeah, and it's funny because the second one is another fish out of
Yeah,
water
it's just
story. Now
reverse. Yeah.
it's yeah, it's reversed, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It's so works. It's such a good movie too. Um, but how would you rate the original Rush Hour?
Uh, Original Rush Hour. I I don't care what anyone says, but I'm gonna give this a 5.
Yeah, yeah, I can't argue
I
with
don't.
that.
Yeah, you can
This
say
movie
that. Oh,
is
nostalgia, nostalgia. He's like, I don't care. All right, it's a 5 for me.
it's not this for me. It's not nostalgia. It's something that it's a comfortable shoe that I always go back to. And like you said, you've seen the film so many times, and then you caught a joke that you hadn't caught
Mm-hmm.
before. That just it's like, holy shit! How did how did I miss this? With the height joke when he's like, is like, yo, if you get into some sort of trouble, just flash, come in and just flash the badge. It's like, no one's gonna buy this. I'm not 6'2". It's stuff like that that would make it's not a nostalgia thing. This movie is amazing. It's funny. It's got great action. It's got great characters. Even outside of Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, the side characters are so good. The captain of the LAPD, you have Johnson, you have the bad guys. All those actors are amazing, and a lot of the uh, the bad guys are part of Jackie Chan's stunt crew that he's worked with for a billion movies. And so there's that familiarity, but then you throw in, uh, you see how Jackie is putting together the choreography for the scenes, for the action scenes, and how he's going to utilize Chris Tucker, and how he's going to he's throughout those scenes. He's guiding Chris Tucker to for what he wants him to do, and Chris Tucker is buying into that. He's like, yeah, whatever you want, Jackie. How do you want me to punch that guy? How do you want me to kick that guy? Where do you want me to roll? How do you want me to fall? And he does it. And I'm sure that's not, for a guy like Chris Tucker, that's not easy. He's never done anything like that before, but he was willing to go that extra mile to be in this film, to do that. And out of all of his films, and he's done some good ones, this is the film that Chris Tucker is going to be remembered for over everything else. So it's just this film is so amazing. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I could try and
I think
like find flaws in this movie, and I'm sure there are, but like what was presented to us, like I can't find any flaw with
it. Yeah. This is a film that both of these guys are going to be remembered for 60 years after they're dead. And there's always flaws, but the flaws are, to me, in this case, irrelevant, because what works for this film is, overwhelms that to a degree where you don't care. Now, when you get to maybe like Rush Hour 3, maybe that luster kind of falls off a little bit, and you can kind of pick at it a lot more. But for this one, not so much.
Indeed. Did you give your rating? Oh, you gave it 5 too.
Yeah, I give it a 5 stars as well. I agree with you, Andy.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's our review for Rush Hour from 1998. Both Robert and I give this a 5-star. So yeah, definitely a movie to watch. Even if you want to say that like the subsequent movies are derivatives of this one, this is the first one. All right, so it doesn't matter. This was the originator, so definitely go check it out. It's hopefully we've if anything, we sparked a curiosity for those who may not have seen this movie.
God, I'm so excited for the people who have not watched it. You are in for a treat. If you like action and you like comedy, you are in for a treat.
Even though I know we spoiled it and whatever, but even still, it's knowing everything ahead of time. You'll still be enjoyed. It'll still be.
I've seen it 50 times, and the movie is still hilarious.
Yeah. So do yourself a favor. Get yourself a copy. Find it somewhere to watch, and enjoy. All right, folks. That'll.
What are we doing? What are we doing next week? What are we gonna watch next week? Do you want to do Great Wall?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Keep the Chinese theme going for a little bit.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. So next week we'll be reviewing Great Wall, starring Matt Damon.
Yeah, we'll see how that
We'll see how
works.
that goes. Because this, I've never watched Great Wall, so.
Neither have I, so it'll be fun. Maybe we're gonna like it, maybe we'll hate
Yeah,
it. Who
we'll see.
knows?
Yeah, although I think this movie did get some flack for perpetuating the idea of the white savior.
Oh my god. Just
I know.
well, we'll find out. We'll see how it
Yeah.
plays into that at all. Or if it's just like, listen, this movie is gonna suck. So we thought we'd throw in an A-lister and to see what happened. And guess what? We got our money back. So joke's on you.
I kind of wanna write or I want to do an essay entitled "In Defense of the White Savior," and
Ooh, that would be
do
interesting.
a more
Yeah, we should.
affirmative sort of take, like why the trope exists. Why it's not as bad as people like make it out to be.
And it'd be perfect coming from you too, because you're not
Exactly.
white, so it's even better. Not only are you not white, but you're also handicapped, so
There
it's
you
even
go.
better.
I'm so basically I'm bulletproof on this. You can't criticize me at all. I'm
Andy,
free
do
from
it.
criticism.
Do it. Do it, my friend.
All right, folks. So yeah, next week we'll be doing Great Wall. So something to look forward to. With the conclusion of our movie review, that'll bring us to the end of our stream tonight. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. I know Rob always has a good time.
It's my favorite day of the week.
I hope it's everyone else's favorite day of the week as well.
Better be, or they're canceled.
Yeah. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this stream, don't forget to check out the library of other content that we have. The Circle of Jerks main podcast, old episodes of Nocturnal Transmissions, of course, where you can find our movie reviews, as well as Rob's gaming show, Up by Up Down. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts, Twitter, or formerly Twitter, now X, and Letterboxd at Podcast COJ, and Instagram at Circle of Jerks Podcast. And with all that said, we thank you for joining us tonight. Come back next week and we'll do it all over again. Have a good one.